I'm so excited for today.
I'm so excited.
I've never been so excited to sit in my living room.
Right, nah, for real. What was I gonna say? I feel like it's a new era, and people don't even know.
Oh, for sure.
Should we let them know?
We should let them know.
We should let them know. Who goes first? You?
I guess I'll start. If y'all see me looking down, I wrote some notes on the whiteboard, so y'all, because the girl got a lot to say.
Oh yeah, we are pretty intentional, and not that we have a script, but
no, it's not word for word.
It's not word for word. It's more so like, let's get to the point. We have some things on our heart space, and we want to share with y'all. So, yeah.
So first of all, let's just talk about how nothing this week I had planned went as planned. Like, I literally had a path for my week to be like straight, but isn't that way sometimes how we see it? Like, but it ended up being like a roller coaster. So yeah.
What ended up happening?
Well, first of all, we met someone new, and we did a Zoom call. So I met this lovely lady on this podcast, Facebook group chat. If you guys have a business, then I suggest you go up there and type in whatever business you have and get to networking and connect with someone. You never know, And I've been learning a lot about that this week too.
What?
Like, when you connect and network with people, that you shouldn't look at someone and judge them and just be like, oh, they don't have it like together, because do we have it together? Absolutely no. And then like the people in your corner, and then the people that's closest to you, use your resources, because you don't know that person that's working for you or that's in your corner, like, maybe it.
Yeah. But how did like, I want to know how your week didn't go as planned. Like, talk about that.
Oh, okay. So my week didn't go planned because yesterday I had 2 free, let me emphasize that, free photo shoot scheduled, because I'm just like, I'm growing, I'm trying to get better, and I have visualizations all the time about like different shoots. So I scheduled 2 free ones. And then the first person canceled, and then the second person canceled. And I was like, okay, so this is teaching me something. I need to have a cancellation fee. Just
no, but for real.
It was a free shoot, though.
Isn't that a thing, though? Like,
yeah.
Like, they do, like, a security deposit or something to make sure, like, you can't, and even if you pay that, you won't get it back.
Yeah, and a cancellation fee. And a late fee.
Oh.
Like, there's fees.
Girl, student fees. Yes. I mean, I get that you're, like, building your own portfolio, too, so it's the start, but I think that's definitely going to teach you that.
Yeah, but girl, I got so mad because I was just like, I wasted my whole Saturday. Like, it brought me back to who I used to be. Like, I felt so close to the old version of me.
How?
Because when the second person canceled, like, I was just like, oh, that's it. Like, I was like ready to throw it all away. Yeah, and
is that what the old version of you used to do?
Or
what did you used to do?
Well, when something didn't go my way, I would overreact.
And be dramatic and what, and do what?
I'll overreact and sit in that darkness, and when I know, like, the difference between last time and this time is I know what the light is. I know how to come back to me. So when that situation arose, I was just like, all right, like, I felt it coming around, and I didn't want to take my anger out on like other people or anything. So what I did was isolated myself, and I went to stillness, and then I went to God, and I just like cried out. I'm like, I need your help because I can't do it alone. I can't do it by myself. Like, I'm trying to be this new person, but these feelings, I don't want to be emotion led, you know. And basically, what it taught me was that I have a choice. I have a choice to choose light or to sit there and dwell on the moment, something that I cannot change.
Right, because it's not in your control.
Yeah, it's not in my control.
For me, and it's crazy because I have those moments too where something triggers me,
Mm-hmm.
and I get so mad, and I even get to the point where I even get to offending the person. For example, like me and my little brother get in fights. Not often, but every now and
both
then.
have little brothers.
Yeah, they're both the same age too, right? 18, 19,
around there, yeah.
18.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was something so stupid, like the air conditioning being on or something, and we were going back and forth, and I started offending him, like saying things to hurt him because he was triggering me so bad. And then I left him at that. I even slammed the door on him, like get out of my face type thing. And then of course I'm like, dang, I feel bad about what I just said, about what I just did. Dang, like I don't want to be that person. So I go back to his room and I'm like, I just want you to know that everything I said was it was my ego. Like I was triggered and I wanted to offend you so bad because I knew that would hurt you because you were hurting me. And so
and they don't understand that. They're just like,
they're like,
out.
what the And I was like, I just want you to know that, and I love you. And he was like, I love you too. And I was like, okay.
Girl, yeah.
Because like sometimes we are human. We are gonna go through those moments where we're triggered, and you have to ask yourself, why am I so triggered?
Wow, that word itself. I listened to this whole sermon on that word itself.
Triggered.
Mm-hmm.
Triggered is
oh my God, full circle moment.
What?
So the sermon was talking about how something comes up and triggers you, but how you can also be triggered to the light side too, like on the positive side. So that brings me back to the full circle moment when this was going on, like the cancellations and stuff, which nobody said it was going to be easy. Anytime you're trying to do a business, period, it's going to be a challenge.
Any hobby, anything.
And it's a test. It's like, how bad do you want it? Because if I give you this and you overreact, then are you sure this is for you? But in the moment, I knew everything was going to be okay. I just had to be a little bit dramatic first.
You have to let that out.
I had to.
I think a lot of people, even like spiritual people, any people that are always working on themselves, we try to avoid that dark part of us because we're like, nah, I'm not going to be her. I'm going to choose not to be her. Sometimes you got to let it out and then realize, oh, I want to go back and not feed into that and forgive for that and realize that, dang, I'm still human and I'm still working on myself. I'm not perfect and I'm working on myself, and the whole people around me are going to know that. That, yes, I might preach about this, but that doesn't make me not human, you know? That doesn't make me not trying to get it together, you know? Because we're never going to have it together. We're just going to continue to... this self-love, this journey of improving yourself is always going to be a process. The whole life journey is the process of that.
And you know what? During the moment that was all happening, I was with my boyfriend, so I was like, I have to get away from him. I don't want to take like anything that I'm going out on him. And I left and I went to go get something to eat, y'all, because I was a little hangry too because I haven't ate like all day long.
That'd be me.
And I just been like practicing and learning, and I haven't ate, so I went to go get something to eat. But I also was just like, you're not gonna uplift your girl. And then I had to check myself, like, sis, we don't need nobody to uplift us. We know how to do that. Like, we know how to connect with the source, which is God. Like, and then it just
had that moment.
I had that moment where it was like, dang, like, you ain't got nothing to say. Like, but it's like, why are you checking for that? Obviously, it's a reflection of something in you that you need to give yourself. You know how to heal. You know how to get that out and get back. Because I had to get right because I had another shoe after that. So it was like, you're not bringing this energy with you. So let it out right here.
Yeah.
For myself.
And it's even that moment of saying, do you need someone else to uplift you, or are you going to do it yourself? You know? Because you were saying, you're not gonna do that. That was ego, big ego.
Yeah,
we love big.
Shout out to the big ego.
Big ego, bro. I think it makes life funny. It really does.
Yeah,
it's like really, because when you're working on yourself, we see the ego, and then we're like, we don't want to be all the ego all the time. We want to, you know, speak and love and live from the soul. But sometimes that ego comes out, and it does make things funny. and life is funny with
Yeah.
ego. So,
Yeah.
like, in that moment where you were like, you're not going to uplift me, it was like, girl, it was that mirror work. It was like, dang, I'm saying all this.
And then the real me, like, my soul was just like, realize that you can do that for yourself. Realize that, let's come back to who you are. And how I did that was I had to play some worship music, to be honest. And I had to speak to God, because at the end of the day, I can't do it alone. Nobody else is going to help me but him. And, like, I've gotten to the point where I realized that.
Yeah, I think that is what can really help someone out when they're working on themselves, to know that they have, like, I love that you went back to listen to worship music, because for me, when I get triggered or something, I'll go write. And I feel like that's where I actually call my journal my soul palace, because it's like I go back to it and I know the truth is there. I know my highest selves. I know that God is speaking back to me through there. Like, it just feels like a direct connection, you know, a direct circle to, and it's writing. And sometimes I need to sing it out.
Yeah.
Because even feeling anger, any kind of emotion, there's a way to get it out. There's a way to express it in a healthy way. Even when I had anger, I remember my therapist would tell me, do you ever just cuss somebody out? Do you ever just, what do you, I was like, no. She's like, you don't get mad? I'm like, no. And she's like, you have that in you. She's like, you need to get that out. In the moments that you get angry, you need to get it out. And one time I wrote this song, and it was like, I hate this pain. I hate this. Like, I was like directly saying anger. But I transmuted it into something healthy, like writing a song, you know? And there's ways even out, like, there's anger. Did you know there's an anger management place where you can, like, go throw plates and, like, hit things and stuff like that? I feel
we
like
should do that.
We should. That'd be fun. That'd be a good vlog or something.
Yeah, let's do it.
You should.
We got to.
We gotta do a vlog,
Period.
y'all. So y'all can see, like, behind the scenes and what we be doing. And
Right. But also what happened this week was, I think I was going to start telling the story, and then I just stopped and went to yesterday's story. So earlier this week, we went live on Friday, and we met this girl on Zoom from the group chat, and basically she got on the Zoom call. We had no idea, like, who she was or anything. She just said she could be a guest. So we were like, okay, let's connect. You know, woman empowerment. We real nice in real life.
right.
Like,
In real life
in real life.
and on social media too.
And
like
on social
everything all around.
But so we didn't know that the young lady was deaf, actually, and she shared her story, which was beautiful. And then we got on live with her, and the night before we got on live with her, we basically studied her. We watched some of her podcasts, got to know her a little bit in that way.
And we try to, like, not research, but, like, you know, you want an idea of the things that she puts out, you know, stuff like that.
Just like as if you were on a dating network and
you're like, okay,
about to go on a date.
Look.
And you want to go look. You want to go check him out.
Right.
Like, who he associated with, how does he talk, how does he walk, how does he speak, type of thing. So,
Yes.
girl, because who is he?
Right, because they coming on the pod, you know?
Right, yeah, and we don't want to just, you know, put out anything or connect with anyone. But, yeah, so we got on the live, and it really didn't go how we wanted it to.
It went how it was supposed to.
Yeah, that's what I said, like, this week did not go at all how we planned. It went how it was supposed to be.
Yes. Everything, I truly believe everything, even if it doesn't work out how you want it to, everything is always divinely orchestrated. Always.
Yeah.
And there was many instances for me too this week that it didn't go as planned. Like, for that, why do you say that the live didn't go as planned?
Because Aurora and I had a different type of perspective, which we wanted to share with her. But as we were asking the questions, we didn't get, like, that answer. Kind of not that we wanted, but it was like, you know how you ask someone a question and they could give you a complete different answer. And it was like, oh, okay, so we can only communicate with you at your level of understanding.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that was a big insight that we realized afterwards, you know, because we were trying so hard to get just in debt with this person, and we couldn't get in debt. And we're so in debt. If you watch our pod and listen to us, we are so in debt. We get deep. We get down.
Try dating us.
Right. Woo, crazy. Like, I be thinking I'm the deepest person. Like, all I talk about, not all I talk about, but like, we talk about traumas. We talk about, self-love. We talk about the things that make us come back to ourselves. We talk about God, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we were thinking we were going to get through with this young lady. And it didn't. It was very surface level, you know, and we're not surface. I mean, we're just so in debt. Once you meet yourself at a deep level, there's no way. I mean, you can relate to other people because you've been at the surface level. Before you get deep, you have to be at the surface level. You know, we were there once. And so when we realized that she wasn't trying to go deep, we were like, oh, okay. So, like, what are we talking about now?
And you know what? It kind of gives off like a positive type of perspective. Like, you only share the good or the light, or maybe you don't want to dig deep, or this is something that's closed off. But even having the live itself, it made Aurora and I realize that we don't want to be like that. We want to share our dark moments. We want to share the traumas that made us who we are. We realized we need to be a little bit more blunt, because even when we got off the call, you know, we hopped on FaceTime. We hopped on FaceTime, and I was like, Aurora, it just felt like we could have been a little bit more blunt.
Yeah, more direct.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it's all a learning experience, you know? And it's crazy because we were wanting to upload this live on our Queendom podcast, so we could start doing live podcasts with people because this girl was located in Canada. So we were like, okay, great, you know, we'll be able to communicate with people all over the world through live podcasts. And so it was our first try. And turns out something happened to your phone, or something happened to her phone, and it completely kicked us off the live. And we were like, well, how are we gonna save this live now, you know? And so we really took that and saw it as a life experience, as a learning experience, because we were like, okay, what were the things that we got? What were the things that we actually wanted? What were the things, how could we learn from this? And we were like, what do you think God was trying to say? And definitely, you know, being more direct and
being more authentic.
Off that part. Okay, so the fact that the reason why I even say this is a new era and why we're so excited about this specific podcast is because before we're ourselves always. We're authentic. We don't have to say we're authentic because we already are, but we are authentic, and we come to this, and our vision and the way we were kind of like sitting was more so professional. I mean, we want this to be professional, but at the same time we were like, do we want to be sitting up all, you know, straight and not messing up? And if we mess up, oh God, you know? Or do we want to be ourselves? And do we want to laugh and talk the way we laugh and talk behind the scenes, the way we talk on FaceTime? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we realized, that we want to just be ourselves on the podcast.
Right, because you guys are probably at home slouched back. We want to be slouched back too. We want to deliver and communicate at your level of understanding.
Yeah, I mean, at the level that we're at. Because we're going to continue to grow.
Yeah, because we're there.
Yeah, and I think it's beautiful that we can all relate. I mean, I can relate to the girl because I was once there, where I thought everything was peaches and cream, where I thought I was like, yeah, you know, I'm helping the world in this way and blah, blah, blah. But then realizing that I need to tap into that, the part of me, that the shadow work that sometimes we don't do, because we think it's all love and light, but light isn't light without darkness. You know, you need that yin yang to even shine brighter, because you need to make peace with the dark in you.
Just like when you are happy, how do you know what happy is if you've never been sad?
Exactly, you need the sadness. So it's, you know, and I say the dark, I don't mean it like evil and all, and it can be things that you've done that, but that's where you go and see those things and forgive yourself for doing them. You bring light to them, you know. That's why we have, quote unquote, some people be like, I have these demons in me. It's because it's just trauma in there that has become so much bigger and bigger and bigger, and you call them demons, you give them so much power, but really you just gotta give light to them.
Right, and they're triggers too. When
they're
they come up, you have to deal with them right then as they come up. If you're just, I can't remember where I heard this from, but if they come up and you just push them away, then basically you're saying, no, not right now.
Right.
And when I think about that, I think about me and my inner child growing up, how I just, Mom, can I? Not right now.
Right.
Aww. And then it's like, if we deal with it right then, we don't have to carry it along. Like, if something comes up, for instance, I'm going to be real with y'all. When I have a moment where I think about my past or me being in my previous relationship, you know, I was in a very long relationship, I would be like, I want to have a family one day. I want to be married. I want to do all of this. And then I'll think about the trauma. Well, you've been with this person for this long. You can't waste your time anymore. Or you just have to be smart about your time, really, when everything aligns. But when it comes up for me, those triggers, I now look at it and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it attention. You're in alignment. Everything's going to work out. And you're probably just feeling this way because all of that time spent for nothing. But look at the bright side of things. Look at where you are now. Look at what you got out of it. So I'm reminding myself, like, you did get through that. If it does happen again, okay. Look at how much you got through that. Look at who you are.
You grew so much. You changed so much.
So bring it. Allow yourself to feel those moments, because in those moments you get to remind yourself who you are now, not who you were back then.
Absolutely.
It's different now.
Hell yeah. Yo, when I was in my after the long relationship, because I was also in a long relationship, I was in it for 5 years. After we broke up, I like hit rock bottom and everything. But I look at myself now 3 years later and I'm like, I wouldn't be her if I didn't experience that, because I wouldn't have hit rock bottom and wanted to rebirth this new version of me. I would have been stuck in the same, not loving myself, in the same loop of putting someone first, and the same loop. And now look at, and even recently, to be completely raw, I went through a situation and I fell flat on my face and I was like, I have to start my self-love journey all over again. And I'm like, oh my God. And bro, I had a tough moment. Like, I was going through it, and it's crazy because I don't normally reach out to people when I'm going through, when I'm crying and I'm super emotional. I don't normally reach out to people because I feel like I'm going to be a burden. Because I don't want to bother them with my problems. And I had this like intuitive impulse that told me to reach out to my therapist. And I'm like, and my therapist had told me, she's like, you're one of the few clients that never reaches out to me. I'm like, sorry. Like, it's not, I swear to you, it's just because I feel like, that's what I paid her for, though. At the end of the day, help is help. And the thing is, I realized that, we're in this world, we need connection. There's nothing wrong. There's going to be people that love you and that will give you the genuine advice that you need. And make sure you know those people. So I reached out to her, and she told me, I was like, I feel like I'm starting my self-love journey all over again from scratch. Like, I fell flat on my face. She's like, oh no, honey. She literally said it with that, like, but she speaks Spanish, so this was in Spanish. She's like, oh no, honey. You fell off she's like, it's like riding a bike. You fell off the bike and now it's time to get back on again. And I was like, whoa, okay. And that's all it is. Every time we fall off the bike and we learn, just like with this live podcast that we wanted to do, it didn't work out how we wanted it to, but we sit back and we think, okay, how did this help us? How can we learn from it? Same way went for the situation I went through with somebody, where I said, how can I learn from this? And that's what this self-love journey is about. So that's what life is about. Coming back to that.
Absolutely love that, because we think that we just love ourselves and then that's the end. Oh no, baby. Like, you think because you broke that toxic relationship off, that's the end. No, because guess what's going to happen?
More.
Another situation similar to that one is going to come up to test you, because that's a generational curse that you broke.
Absolutely.
It's going to come up to say, okay, look at her out here loving herself. Yeah. Like, she broke it and that's all. Right. Like, no, I'm gonna come back to try you because I know the power that you have within you. And I'm trying to attack that. I'm trying to like see if you gonna fall for it again. And it's like, no, I'm still that same person that I was when I broke it.
Yeah. And when you break these generational curses, it's not about you know, we might think, yeah, we're breaking it, you know, we're loving ourselves a little more. But, like, it's deeper than that. Because even I realized, too, recently that I explained to you that something that I had experienced was the same thing my mother experienced. Yeah. And my therapist, the only way I know that is because my therapist was like, this is literally a repeated situation that you're going through, that your mom also went through, and that your grandmother went through. She was like, it's on you to stop it, or your daughter's going to go through it. When I tell you, I bawled my eyes out. I was like, why do I have to be the one that breaks generational curses? Why?
Right.
And we have that strength inside of us, and it hurts so much because you're like, but I want to do this. And she's like, my therapist was like, well, that's what your mother did. That's what your grandmother did. Look at how it turned out.
Wow.
And yesterday I had a session with her, and she was like, I love you, Mom, and everything. I love you, Mom. You know, this is to help the world. I want you to know that.
Of course, Mom, we love you.
If my mom is listening, please, I promise you that I share my life experiences. For anyone that I share,
literally,
just a disclaimer. For anyone that I share not your information, but a personal experience that has happened to me, if I share it on the podcast, is to just relate to the world. The world is always going to relate to our personal experiences. And I know people will be able to know where I'm coming from. So that's the only reason why I share these things. But she told me, she was like, I want you to sit back. She was like, and act like you're watching a movie. She's like, don't get in the movie. Don't be a character in the movie. Act like you're sitting back, you're at the movie theaters, and you're watching your mom's life as a movie. She was like, what would you say? Be a critic right now. What would you say? And I would be like, well, you know, all of the situations she's gone through, I would say that, you know, I see where she's coming from because she has a big heart, and I can see where maybe she can, and then I was like, I can also see her daughter, aka me, but I saw myself outside of her.
Right.
I was like, I can see her daughter, and I almost want to tell the daughter, don't go that way, don't go that way. And that's me talking to me. Right. And that was the most powerful moment because I was like, oh, okay. Okay, I see what I got to do.
Reflections. Okay.
Yes. It was so beautiful. When I tell you, get a therapist. Get you the therapist that aligns with you. Okay. Not just any therapist, because there's many
ask
therapists.
God for one.
Yes. Ask God for it, and I promise you, He will deliver.
And that goes into, all we're trying to say is, but on the journey to becoming the best version of yourself, which this podcast is about, you're going to have moments where you fall off that bike, and you're going to have moments where you feel like you question yourself. Do I love yourself? Because I have those moments all the time.
Absolutely.
And it's like, okay, girl, do you love yourself though? Because you just allowed this. Like,
right.
But it's like you can't be too tough on yourself, but at the same time, you have to understand that this is all a journey, and you have to know how to get back to it. When you fall off that bike, you got to learn how to get back on that bike and keep paddling.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes what really helps me is when I'm like going through a situation, I feel so overwhelmed, or even just reflecting. I like to zoom out of my life. You know how you can like zoom out of a camera and zoom out more and zoom out more? I like to like zoom out that way and say, one day when I'm older, I will be able to look at this experience and be like, it was such a beautiful experience. I lived so much beautiful moments.
Your older, like the older version of you is going to thank you.
Yes.
For the way that you treat her now.
Yeah, because even though we fall down, even though we choose things that we know we shouldn't, and we do it anyway, it's a learning experience. It's something that we're going to grow from, something that we're going to learn from. And one day...
that white again. I'm sorry.
Right, you're good. I know. I said, girl, make sure you... But anyways. But yeah, you'll be able to look back and be like, that was such a beautiful moment. And I do that often. Sometimes I just say thank you to the people that I love, because these moments we will never have again.
Absolutely. That's why it's so important to sit. Like, I had a vision earlier that was telling me, okay, tonight you need to sit still, and you need to, because y'all, first of all, us 9 to 5 people, because like, I'm a real person. I work a 9 to 5, and I create on the weekends, but who I am on the weekends, you know, I feel like that's kind of who I really am. Like, but So I'm like dreading work already. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be this person that dreads my weekdays. Like, there's 5 days out of the week and there's 3 days on the weekend. So I'm like, how am I going to, 2 days on the weekend. I'm like, how am I going to make the best of this? I'm going to sit tonight still in a Sunday and just literally stare at the wall or close my eyes and talk to God. I'm going to feel every minute, like, and enjoy that because the time goes by so fast. Yeah. And I'm tired. I'm so tired of, like, looking back and, like, reminiscing. I'm creating this life that I want now.
Now. We have that power now.
Yeah, like, right now. And stop calling me.
I'm about to turn that on myself. Keep splashing in my eye. But yeah, it's crazy. Going back to the things that didn't work out for us this week. I went, so my mom's having this big birthday bash.
Sorry, y'all, I had a text about, I have a photo shoot after this, so.
Oh, okay. My mom is having this big birthday bash. I had to go, to Raleigh, which is an hour and a half away from where I live. And, I had to go, I went by myself and everything. Mm-hmm. And, you know, some people be like, I even saw my uncle at the mall because I went to go get a dress. So my uncle, he was like, you came by yourself? I was like, yeah, I does this. I live alone. I love being alone. I love my solitude. People just can't be alone. But anyways, I was on the way over here or over there, and I was talking to my angels. I was driving, and I was like, what did I say? Because I was listening to Abraham Hicks. You know who Abraham Hicks is? Mm-hmm. And she, like, reminded me. She's like, you can literally tell the universe, God, anything you want. Just say, I want to experience good things. And so that's what I started saying. I was like, I said, universe, I want to experience good things today. Send me joy. I want to experience joy. I want to experience the perfect dress just for me, just for the birthday party. I want to experience, and I just put it out there because it made me feel good inside. And I'm like, okay, I get there and I'm driving and I'm trying to find a place to park. And in my head, I was like, okay, I'm going to park in this specific place in front of this specific place because I just know normally if I park there, it's just easier for me to walk in. Right. So I'm looking for a parking space and there's no parking space. Mm-hmm. And I'm rerouted all the way to the bottom of the parking deck. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dang, like this isn't what I had planned. So in my head, I'm still open to it. I'm like, okay, whatever. We're going to find a parking space. Right. Then I'm like, God, can you send me a parking space? Okay. And then I found a parking space. And this person moved. And it was crazy because I backed up into it and I hit the back. And I was like, oh! And it didn't leave a dent or anything in my car. Mm-hmm. But anyways, I parked. And that was the time. As soon as I got there, I had a therapy session with my therapist for an hour. And I was like, let me just get this over with. I go into the mall afterwards. Tell me why. In my head all day, I was like, I'm going to go to this specific store. You know how I told my angels, told God, I want to experience good things. I walked into that mall and the store I was looking for was right there. Right where I had parked. Like, I had parked and it was directly across from it. So you saw like, the good things. Here we go. And I was like, ah! So I go in and I'm in the store and it's packed with a bunch of girls looking for prom dresses. I'm like, God. And they were waiting for real. They were waiting for waiting rooms and everything, or what dressing rooms, I mean. Mm-hmm. And it was a long line, and I see this dress, 2 dresses, and I'm like, ooh, these are good options. Let me keep looking. And I keep looking, come back. I'm gonna go back to those dresses. They're gone. I'm like, okay. Well, there goes my opportunity to get the perfect dress. That's great. So I'm like, dang, I gotta go to the other store. So I literally walk around the whole mall by myself. And then I'm like, I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat. And I'm like, maybe when I eat afterwards, I'm gonna go back to the store and see if that dress is there. And then in my head, I told myself, this is all a mindset, you guys. You have to talk. You gotta get it. You have to coach yourself through life. Yeah. Through life, let me tell you, because it's hard to keep a positive mindset. I'm not always positive. People think I'm, how can you be so optimistic? Trust me, it's me in my head all the time, telling myself, I literally told myself, I said, what's for you will never miss you. So I go back to that story and tell me why the perfect dress was there. Got in the dressing room line, waited, put it on, perfect fit, everything, got it, left. Even though it took me, I walked around for a couple hours, ate, took my time. I was like, it's okay because everything's working out how it's supposed to. Period. And it was a mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's really like how you're supposed to see it, as far as whatever you're going through in life that you don't have right now. Don't give up, because in 2 minutes, in 2 years, that could be yours, or what's for yours is going to find you. You just have to be patient and not entertain what's not for you in the meantime.
Exactly. But also, I just kind of like, what's for me will never miss me.
Never.
And that's why I kind of was like, let me go look at these other dresses. I went into Macy's, went to other stores, but I was still like, I'm going to find the dress.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so happy about it. And I was like, and I felt good about it. I was like, I'm about to leave and I'm going to find my dress.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm about to leave the food court and find my dress. And I did. And it worked out how it was supposed to.
I love how you said it's all a mindset thing. That brings me back to this meeting I had earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, in the meeting, I learned that if I want something, I'm going to have to go get it, because nobody successful, nobody where you want to be has got there from just waiting for it to come to them. It's like, yes, you have faith that it's going to come to you, but faith without works is dead.
Right. Absolutely. That brings me to what my therapist and I talked about yesterday. She was giving me this story. She was like asking me about how the singing is going. She's like, I saw your video. You went to sing karaoke at this restaurant. I'm so proud of you. Because she was the one who pushed me, you guys. She's pushed me this
Get you
journey.
a therapist, because obviously they have a huge effect in your life. Okay.
Absolutely. Her and Karina, who's been featured on the podcast. If you haven't listened to that podcast, please listen to her. Her and Karina are the two people that I know will slap me if I need a slap in the face. Not literally, but metaphorically, you know, because that's a person that will tell you exactly how you need to hear it, you know. And she told me, she said, there's this tennis player, I think he's like a Spanish tennis player, and he explained in his book or something how, you know, there's different levels for every kind of sport. There's different levels. There's the level of going to, regionals and international, then the next one, and then the next one. I don't know
about tennis, but I know about basketball.
Any kind of any kind of sport. This goes for any kind of sport. He said the only difference between the people that have made it to the top competition, whatever, are the ones with a good mindset. Because the ones that don't do the work, the ones that have a bad mindset, a poor mindset, will never get far. And it had me sitting there thinking, because this past week I was at work, because I'm a waitress. I was at work and I met this but this young girl who, she's only 16, but she could sing. And I was like, show me. I just started singing live. And I showed her videos. And she was like, I'm so nervous. No. She didn't want to show me. And I was like, girl. And then I just know she had a good voice. I knew it. I just knew it. But she didn't want to show me. She was very shy. And I was okay with that, because I used to be shy too. You know, I understood that. But my therapist was like, even the people with the most beautiful voices, they won't put themselves out there and sing in front of people. They'll let that fear get in the way of their success. So it's a mindset thing. It's I see the fear and do it anyway. And
it's a process. You gotta you gotta step your toe in first, get your feet wet, and you have to push yourself to that point. Because if you're following the right direction, if you're pouring into your life and you're just feeding your soul every single day, then one day there's gonna come a time where you're gonna break loose and say, you know what? I'm not going to let this control me anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to be me. I'm going to go after it. And then you're going to get to the bottom of what's holding you back and give it less authority.
Right.
And then once you do that, it's up from there.
It's up from there. Don't worry.
It's up. Just like us with our podcast. Like, we're still new and we're still growing. So every single podcast, us trying to improve in the most authentic way possible, is us letting go of the fear of being perfect.
Right. Yeah. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys know of Bretman Rock. He's, I think he's like an influencer. He's a makeup guru. I don't know. He's himself.
Bomb.
He's bomb. He's so funny. He's just literally himself. And he came up, I don't know how you say it when you make it.
He blew up.
He blew up. He blew up just by being himself.
Mm-hmm.
And we took that, like I was telling Daisy earlier, I was like, we just have to be ourselves on the podcast.
And Tabitha Brown, because she's the one that came up from being so positive. Like, so that goes to also tell you, people that are like, you're so positive, or that comes with the negative comments, or hate posts, whatever it is, hate messages, like someone message you, they can't stop you if you're being you.
Right.
Because she's herself and she shows just, hey, I'm not even going to imitate her because I'm not her. Like, only she can do that.
Exactly.
Only she can be herself.
Mm-hmm.
So that just goes to show you.
You just gotta be yourself.
To be you.
That's it. That's what we learned from the live that quote unquote went wrong. It didn't really go wrong because it taught us. It taught us that we just really want to be ourselves. We don't want to sugarcoat things anymore. We don't want to. We want to be direct.
Real experiences.
Real experiences,
real
testimonies,
talk, real trauma,
real laid back, the same way y'all probably laid back. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just want to be ourselves.
Kick back and put our feet up too.
Yeah,
that's okay.
But yeah, no. I think one of the themes of my week was, I think you said you related to it. We're so synchronized in the most interesting way.
Our purpose is aligned.
Yeah. But it's very interesting because sometimes I'll tell her things and she's like, no way. I did
that happened in a different way.
Yes, in a different way, but the same thing. You know, my theme of the week was seeing everyone as a whole.
And I experienced that too because I hopped on lives and like the things that I were listening to, it was about wholeness and it was about triggers and it was about everything that we reflected on through this podcast. But it's so crazy because what I realized was I need to wake up. And it woke me up, basically, by just being able to reflect your week and not only take like the good, but take the bad with the good and realize that everything that happened this week worked out for the best. Like everything that happens in your life works out for the good.
Divinely orchestrated.
And I'm not saying that being like toxic positivity. No, even the bad is gonna benefit you.
Absolutely. Take it, feel the anger, feel the pain, feel that.
And then when you're done, be like, what is this teaching me?
Right. Reflect.
Yeah.
And then you can determine whether or not you want to be positive about it or you still want to keep that resentment and anger. And because the truth is, those emotions actually release. There's a chemical reaction where it releases toxins in your body, which ultimately creates illnesses like cancers, parts of your body that sometimes hurt, and that means that it has an emotional trigger inside of you.
Right.
And if you could just hit that emotional trigger instead of popping pills for it and just saying, oh, it'll go. Really, the illnesses and everything on the body that reflects is actually just symptoms of something deeper, a toxin.
It's all you trying to hide something when you get an illness is what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
So basically, it never belonged to you. You just didn't take your problems and deal with it right then. You kept pushing it away or bringing up something that is going to be a quick fix instead of a permanent fix.
Exactly.
And it shows up later on in your life.
Yeah.
So take care of yourself.
Yeah, and in the most inner way possible.
Yeah.
Like that's really why we come to talk on this podcast, because we do this work daily and we're not perfect and we don't want to be perfect, but we want to help people just bring awareness to that. You know, we want to bring awareness to how it can save you.
And all we did was share our week. Like, literally, all we did was share our week and talk about it.
Yeah, but I wanted to speak on, like, all the parts. Because this week, the reason why the theme of the week was wholeness, for me, or seeing everyone as a whole, was because I was working and this customer asked me about my day or whatever. She's like, I can see the way you are or how you're feeling, because I've worked with special needs for 30 years, special needs kids. She was like, and one thing that I asked her, I was like, what is one thing that you've taken away from that? And she said that you have to see everyone as a whole. You know, you can't see anyone as less than. You can't treat them different or try to sugarcoat. No, see them as a whole. See them as just as human as you are. The same way, you know, when we were on live with the girl, hard of hearing, she was explaining the same thing. She was like, I feel like everyone just needs to see everyone as a whole. You know, you don't have to yell, scream louder, even if I can't hear you. No, just be yourself. The same way I told this new waitress that I was training, I was like, she came up to me, I was like, can you go tell this customer this? Because I was training her. Can you go tell them this? And she was like, okay. I was like, how'd you say it? She was like, eh. And she kind of like, you could hear the high pitch in her voice. And I was like, okay, next time, just be yourself. Don't fake it. And she's like, oh.
Because you can see it. You can see when someone's faking something.
Yeah. I was like, you just have to be yourself. That's it. That's it. Because when I told her, I was like, don't be fake. And she was like, she kind of took it. She kind of took it like, she
did she really?
Yeah, did she really just say I was being fake?
No,
because I told her, I was like, I used to be the same way. Yeah, I used to be the same way. But people can see through fakeness. People can see through positive, just regular, natural, authentic person. Right. Because when she told me she met me, she was like, I felt really comfortable with you because you're just kind of you make me feel comfortable. And I was like, that's a good thing because I'm comfortable with myself, you know? But you see everyone as a whole. And even at work, you guys, the people in different positions, whether they wash dishes, whether they're cooks, they're waitresses, whether they are a manager, whatever they are, whatever position, even seeing them as a whole, not looking down on them because everyone's trying their best. Right. Everyone experiences pain. Everyone is going to die one day, literally. We're all going to die.
When you miss that mark, like, of not seeing everybody as a whole, you miss the opportunity for God to deliver something to someone. Like, you miss your mark, you're missing your purpose. Because what if your purpose is to have this conversation or to do ministry in a way with someone that you're working with, but you're so blind and you're not woke that you don't see them for who they are.
Everyone has a soul, everyone has a heart, everyone has pain, everyone is human. You cannot see anyone as less than, because
not even yourself. Don't see yourself as less than. That is the biggest thing. Do not see yourself as less than, because you're gonna see don't do that. Don't do it.
Something my therapist told me, she said, she's like, because I told her that I don't like hurting people. I rather hurt than hurt someone else. And she was like, and that's hurting you.
Right.
And I was like, it's like, it's true.
Real.
Because what makes me be okay with not hurting them, but be okay with hurting me? Woo. And she said, you need to have more love for yourself. I was like,
stop trying to speaking to ourselves, speaking to everyone, because y'all, we are not perfect. A lot of what we preach it for ourselves too. So speaking to everyone as a whole, you like what I did there, huh? Like, your self-love journey is the most important thing, because if you are pouring into someone else's cup and your cup is empty, then it's so funny, because you're always going to have to come back and become whole. Like, at the end of the day, no matter what, you're always going to have to come back to yourself.
Because you're empty and you're like, oh, I got to get back.
But like, how loving someone and not loving yourself is not even loving them correctly. Like, when you give someone love, which I've done that before in my previous relationships, I've loved someone more than I loved me.
Me too.
And that was the most toxic type of love that you can give, because it starts with loving yourself.
Right. But we had to learn that.
Yeah.
We didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
We had to learn the hard way. And now we know. But we still learning.
We are.
We're still going through I'm still going through situations where I'm realizing, dang, do I know what I deserve?
And then sometimes, like, in real life, y'all, we be talking to each other, and I'm like, in real life, because this ain't real life right now. I'm just kidding.
This is real life. This is a part of our real life.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a part of us.
This is us. Anyways,
we gotta, like, we'll have conversations where we're like, testing each other, where it's like real and raw, and be like, girl, look at what you're accepting, or look at what you're going through right now. And like, we can't do this. We have to pour into ourselves. We have to keep growing. We can't stay stagnant, and we can't, go backwards. We got to keep going forward. Meaning, like, there's been times with that last situation that you're talking about, where it's like, all right, are you who you say you are? Like, because we're going to always go back to that. So
yeah. Asking myself, like, who am I? Who do I want to be? Me, and I had told you something where I was like, you know what? I feel like my dream man intimidates me right now, because I'm not even the woman that would attract him right now. Otherwise, he wouldn't intimidate me. And that means I have work to do. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful, because I'm like, how much more am I going to sharpen up? How much more am I going to be me? I feel like I'm good right now, but I'm going to be even better.
Right.
To what I think I am right now. But I'm grateful for right now.
Yeah.
But I'm still like, I see a dream man that I see myself with, and I'm like, he intimidates the fuck out of me.
Right now.
But one day, no, he's not. I'm going to be like, what's up?
What you trying to do?
What's up? What's up? Yeah.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, okay, yeah. But, on our process, there's going to be people that might not belong to you. Like, nobody belongs to anyone. But there's going to be people that come along your path that is a part of your assignment for now.
100%.
But you can't just be like, nope, I'm waiting for my dream man. Like, girl, you better take those learning lessons.
I mean, then you can, like,
yeah.
For example, I'm not gonna go in depth because I don't want to. I am private and reserved, but I will share things that I know need to be heard. But with my situation, I went through a situation where I've learned that. Well, with my first real relationship, I learned that I needed to love myself because I didn't love myself. Then I learned in another situation that it wasn't all about physical attraction, that I wanted, someone who's, can meet me at the mindset, who's deep in depth with me. Then in another situation, I've learned that
how many situations?
No, I'm just saying, in different life situations. Yeah.
We love.
I've learned that I want integrity. Yeah. I want not only mindset, not only depth, but integrity. I want to continue to learn what I deserve. And if I need to learn more situations, maybe I can say no to the situations. Right. But I also need to stand tall in who I am and know how to respect myself, know how to love myself, and know when to say no, have boundaries. All of this is self-love. People think self-love is like, let me go get my nails done. Let me go get my hair, let me go get my physical body feeling good in the mirror. But then you sit back and you feeling the same way you were feeling emotionally an hour ago. Before you got those things done. Yeah. That's not real self-love. That means you gotta dig deep.
Yeah.
Sometimes your physical does need that.
Yeah,
it does. And then it'll be like,
so good after getting my nails done today.
Don't get me wrong. Because I remember when I was doing so much internal work, my mom told me, she was like, you've done so much inner work, you need to work on the physical now. In a good way. She was telling me that. Yeah. And I knew it was.
It's like, sis, you've been your mom was basically saying, all right, come up out the sweatpants season.
For real. Because all it was sweatpants season. Let me tell you. That's what happens when I'm digging.
That's how you know you working on yourself, bro. When you got sometimes I'll wear a sweatshirt and sweatpants, right. And then I got some comfortable Yeezys or Uggs or Crocs on, and I'm just chilling, big chilling, because I know I gotta do this today, and I had to write in my journal. And
Right.
but
There's
it's
that
comfortable.
day.
You want to be comfortable, and
Exactly.
the older you get, the more comfortable you want to be.
Yeah. Well, some people
Some
don't talk about all that.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's the right time to spice it up a little bit. But
Yeah. No, but yeah, I mean, there's a time and place for everything, and if you put so much time and effort in the outer, but you got a lot of deep work to do, it's time to get to it, you know?
it's all about being in tune with yourself.
Yeah.
Knowing what season am I in. Like right now, we know we're in a new era.
Absolutely.
And we know that old things that comes up, we have to deal with it.
Absolutely.
And we're just taking everything, like we're taking our week and we're seeing everything. We're woke. And I think we're gonna name the title of this episode. What did we say?
Stay woke or be woke or we're woke. Like
I wrote it down.
not we're woke.
Being woke.
Being work.
Being woke. Oh Lord. We're gonna name it Being Woke because it might.
woke.
And then Aurora said, "Well, girl, be for real." Aurora said,
Being woke. I thought you had said that.
I said what?
Being woke.
Being woke. Is that right?
Yeah. I just thought you said being woke.
Okay, being woke. We gonna be woke. No, but it's like no. All right, for real.
Be fucking for real.
Okay, what we're trying to say is in 10 minutes. All right.
Okay.
Lord, you got that one goofy friend that just bring out the goofy in you, and then you can't get back serious.
Okay, come on. I said come
Did
on.
you hear me swallow right then?
No.
Oh.
Come on.
Okay, so I'm thirsty. We gotta hurry up and wrap this up. Okay, so we're gonna name the title of this episode. You will see when you see the title of this episode. Just kidding. Being woke, and Aurora was like, "Well, what if we're not woke to everyone?" And they're like, "You think you woke?" But it's like, okay, I'm woke to my level of
Never.
understanding.
Never.
Period. Because we're
There's
woke.
levels to this shit.
Because we were able to take a week that didn't go our way and turn it all. We didn't turn it all around. It wasn't even us. It was God.
Right.
But we was able to see that though.
Yeah.
Some people miss it.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by waking up.
Just everyone's at a different level of awareness. That's it. We gotta embrace everything. Even when we're like, ooh, they're not too in tune with themselves. Ooh, they're not that as deep as we are.
Yeah.
That's okay because they're at that level. And if it's meant for them to get to that level, they will eventually. And maybe our energy and everything that we give people when they're not at that level is okay because maybe they could take something from everything that we tell them. At least one thing. If you took one thing from all of our
If you
podcasts,
took one thing, comment one thing.
Comment
on this
one
video.
thing.
Just one.
if you just took one thing, comment one thing down below. Okay?
Okay.
But yeah, everyone's at their level of awareness, and it's important to still see people as a whole because we're all doing the best we can at all times.
We're
Always.
becoming the best versions of ourselves. And that's what we meant. That's what this whole episode really is about.
Just being woke and being yourself.
But I'll see you guys later. And
Thank you for watching.
thank you for watching. Oh
Thank
my
you
gosh.
for listening. We love y'all. So much love for y'all.
Thank you guys for tuning into another, what's this video? Yeah. Another video,
Episode.
another podcast, another episode.
Love you.
I said, God, turn on some dance music. And he answered. Woo!